is what really is a concern, I think, on what could come next from the Iranians if they so choose is they might activate their sleeper cells in the United States through years of open borders to hurt the United States directly.
With the way that our border was down for 4 years, there could be cells here that could be activated by Iran or proxies and groups that are loyal to Iran.
I think that is highly likely, though would be extremely escalatory, and is one of the circumstances that the president also kind of insinuated would trigger an American response. So
we need to be prepared for those types of attacks. And the number one way to do that is for the citizenry to be aware, and that's what's going to prevent the majority of this.
But the fear of sleeper cells in the United States is very concerning. It's something that the president is very aware of and trying to mitigate as we speak.
Breaking news coming out in the last 24 hours of warnings from the FBI of potential sleeper cell attacks on U.S. cities, on U.S. soil, coming from Iranian sleeper cells. This, as we've seen a new fifth wave of attacks taking place in the Middle East from Iran against Israel, as we're hearing the war is escalating, and also the warnings that things are just going to be increasing from here. Now, let me go ahead and share with you the latest headlines and video footage so that way you can see it for yourself, coming out today, June 14th, 2025. Take a look here. Could the U.S. be targeted as Iran retaliates against Israel? This article coming out in the last 24 hours, and the answer they're saying is yes, and to watch out for sleeper cells, which are Iranian groups that have come to the United States with the open border policies over the Biden administration that are already here, ready to activate attacks on U.S. soil. Here's another one. MAGA warns of jihad sleeper cells in the U.S. after Israeli strikes in Iran take place. And coming out in just the past 2 hours, take a look at this. Israel urges the United States to join the war with Iran to eliminate the nuclear programs. Now, the United States has tried to avoid getting directly involved, but let me know your thoughts. Should the United States join the war right now? If you think the U.S. should join in, put yes. If you think no, put no. Now, this is coming after Iran has already directly made a threat to the United States of attacking U.S. military bases in the Middle East. And now you're going to be seeing the footage of them warning directly of attacks here on U.S. soil. Now, I'm going to read for you as well.
Hey, Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Urchakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and this World War III is heating up. We had the U.S. enter into the war, basically. There's been no official declaration of it, but the U.S. did hit Iran, and it's being made known. And Iran's already promised to retaliate. They said they were going to hit some U.S. bases, in which just saw some notifications in our group chat that has actually happened, and literally just saw this minutes ago. And they're also talking about releasing sleeper cells, and this has been talked about in the last couple of years, especially with all the immigrants coming in. And there was even I guess you could say, a viral video of a man saying, "You don't know who I am, but you will know who I am soon," which is a few years ago, maybe just a year. And yeah, there's been talk of these different nations having sleeper cells within Babylon the Great. And we were even seeing Chinese nationals come in, Middle Easterners come in, Hamites come in. And that's been all the talk. And now it's looking like we might actually get to see these sleeper cells. This is on X, formerly known as Twitter. It's Brother Shamak put this into the group, and it's from Raw Alerts. It says, breaking, Iran has issued a threatening warning, vowing that if attacked, it will unleash a wave of retaliation for sleeper cells embedded within the United States, potentially sparking coordinated assaults deep inside American territory. And we're at war, so this is something that should be looked out for. And really, we have to be completely circumspect in these times, looking out for certain attacks or false flag attacks. It could be anything, but with real consequences for us. And we do know the Lord is looking out for us and watching over us, but at the same time, we have to look out for ourselves and for the body. And because things are about to get very violent. We're coming into World War III. There's talks of sleeper cells, there's talks of civil war, different race wars. We're just watching the overall downfall of Babylon the Great. So we should expect a lot of violence. And thus with great violence shall that city Babylon fall. There's going to be a lot of violence. And we just have to stay circumspect, stay prayed up. But let's get into the scripts, because sleeper cells are prophesied. America will be filled with its enemies. And so we're going to see it right here. This is Jeremiah 51, and we're going to start at verse 13 to show that this is speaking of America. That Babylon the Great is America. Jeremiah 51 and 13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters. This is speaking of Babylon. Babylon is America, and America dwells upon many waters. It has military bases all around the world. And so just Googling U.S. bases around the world, the United States maintains a significant global military presence with bases in numerous countries. These bases serve various purposes, including strategic positioning, training, and supporting regional operations. Japan, South Korea, and Germany host some of the largest concentrations of U.S. military bases, while other key locations include the Middle East, Italy, and the United Kingdom. So here's a map showing different bases that the U.S. has. It says the U.S. has about 750 bases in at least 80 countries around the world. It has approximately 173,000 troops deployed in 159 countries. This is dwelling on many waters. Japan has 120 bases. Neither keepeth at home. They don't keep at home. Oh, Salakia. But hopefully that can paint a picture of America dwelling on many waters. Not to mention, it also has many people coming into the U.S. It's a melting pot. But it says, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, because America's gone around the earth destabilizing nations and stealing resources. So these are stolen treasures that it's sitting on. It says, thine end is come, because the sins of Babylon have reached up to heaven, and it has sin upon sin from the many things that they've done, the great things that they've done. It's just why their stink is about to come up. But the thing in particular has been touching the apple of the Lord's eye. They have been a great pain to the true Israelites, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And the Lord is going to reward them for being such a pain. This is their end that is coming. This is what we're watching with World War III brewing. And once they make the MOTB mandatory, things are going to increase, and America will eventually be nuked by Russia and its allies. And this will even include some of America's allies within NATO and the EU. Everyone's going to turn on America and the state of Israel. Since thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness, the Lord of hosts, so the Lord of armies, hath sworn by himself, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. These are enemy armies that the Lord's filling Babylon the Great up with, or America up with. These are the sleeper cells. This is a version in the NLT from Jeremiah 51:14. It says, The Lord of heaven's armies, so the Lord of hosts, has taken this vow and has sworn to it by his own name. So this is something that will definitely happen. The Lord's putting his name on it. And he says, your cities will be filled with enemies, like fields swarming with locusts. And so America, Virgin Babylon, who's been untouched by enemy armies, will be touched with troops, with its enemies. So it's going to lose that virgin status because it will be penetrated by its enemies. It says, like fields swarming with locusts, and they will shout in triumph over you. And so, sleeper cells isn't fear-mongering. It's not trying to instigate things. This is actually something that could happen, and the scriptures speak of it. It's part of prophecy. America will be taken down by its enemies. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakah Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.